What is up, gym fans? It is the week of January 26th. I'm Patricia.
And I'm Carissa.
And this is Decoded.
We're back. We're back. You missed us. You missed us. Dun, 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 dun.
I feel like we're always saying we're back.
I know.
Even if I don't
Well,
even know.
in our defense, we had the holidays and then also like one of the biggest changes in my life and then also like NCAA season starting. So
Yep.
It's been chaotic.
It has. And of course, our last other episode was like 2 weeks ago because we switched to every other week. So
yes. But we're here. We're doing it and we're keeping it up.
And we have a lot to catch up on and all of the things. So I guess let's start with our sticks and wobbles. Carissa, what was your wobble of the week?
I fell in the snow this morning getting onto the subway.
Oh.
Yep. It was not fun. It was funny in hindsight, not fun in the moment.
How wet were you for how long?
I was pretty wet until probably like midway through the day. And then I dried off just in time to commute home.
My wobble. I honestly don't really I don't know. I don't really have much of a wobble.
Oh my God, that is such a stick in itself. That's amazing.
Yeah, life's still lifing, but when it's an ongoing lifing thing, you're just like, okay, well, I mean, like,
screw it. Life is good.
So exactly, you just gotta
fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it.
So maybe I'll say scoring debacle, the scoring in general in NCAA gymnastics, which we were going to discuss today, but it's annoying. I'll say that.
I would agree with you. So should we go to sticks?
Yeah, go to your stick.
Okay, because we're just so positive, Polly.
Sorry.
My stick is that I survived my first week of work.
Okay, yeah. How did it go? We haven't really caught up, so we are literally like live.
In live time catching up. It's been really good. I love the job. I love the people. They're awesome. I do miss working for Patricia all day, every day, because I just got to annoy her all day, every day. But
that's talking okay. So much. Our talking so much. So long.
I like kind of miss it, Like I like miss you.
What's the?
It's your fingers, your pointer finger and your other index. Okay, sure, that works. I like that one.
Okay.
That's good.
I don't know. I'm a millennial. I don't know.
You're a mom. It's okay. It's okay.
There you go. We're gonna talk about moms too today.
Oh, God, look at us wrapping everything up in this perfect little bow. I love us. Missed it. We're electric right now. Anyways. But yeah, it's been really good. I really like it so far, and I'm so happy to be home in New York.
Yay!
I'm an East Coast girl, and Patricia's gonna come see me soon.
Possibly, yes. Hopefully. I think it'll work out, but I don't know for sure. 100%.
We can never 100% not in this life, but
hopefully that is the plan in a few weeks.
What's your stick?
I'm really going with some gymnastics sticks.
Okay.
This week.
Love.
First, I think I have identified my favorite leotard ever.
Wait, yes, I knew this is what you were gonna say. Because it was really good. You want to know what? Might I add? I'm so proud of you because you've really been on the Leo grind game. Usually that's like I'm sending you Leos and I'm like, blah, 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 blah. You have been like on it this year. Are you drinking a coffee right now?
Carissa, don't judge me.
It's 9 p.m. and you are a mother. You should be asleep, not drinking that coffee.
I'm convinced that I have ADHD, ADD, whatever. It doesn't really like impact me that much. So,
well, that's what I say also. But I didn't expect you to pull out the latte.
Cheers.
Period. Yes, tell us about your favorite Leo, please.
Okay, so it is Air Force's Leo this past weekend. It is actually, I think the name of it they included, but I'm just going to call it the Space Force Leo. whatever. It's like some of those words, it's like almost like simplify or like hoorah. I don't know, like something related. Maybe it's like Space Force's slogan. I don't know. But it's their Space Force Leo. And I just think it's so beautiful. Like
It's a
all of the
gorgeous.
details, the color, the cut. It does have an open back, which isn't always my favorite because we don't like this lack of support. But like at the end of the day, most leotard backs are not my favorite.
I
So,
know.
but like the overall overarching Leo, I'm just like, I love it. It's black. The base is black. I just think it looked beautiful in competition. And, you know, I can be kind of a leotard snob. A lot of times I feel like there's just too much going on with them. But in
Or
this
just
case,
like
like I
weird design decisions.
yeah, there are a lot of weird design decisions. Like UCLA had their new Seraphine, I believe it is, Seraphina leotard this past weekend, and it was beautiful for the most part, but it had like this weird crisscross neck thing going on, and I
Yeah.
think it was still beautiful, but that took away from it being a 10 for me. This Air Force Leo is a 10 for me. Like, it
Yeah.
is a 10,000 for me, and everybody has their different taste in leotards, but, like, honestly, I feel like you can make a few changes to this Air Force Leo and make it a US Leo.
100%. And
So
it was kind of, no offense, Air Force, but it was kinda shocking to come from Air Force. I felt like.
why?
I don't know, I just none of their Leos have ever really, like,
Oh,
grabbed
okay.
me in that
Yeah.
way. Um,
I saw one they had one last year that was really nice, I forget what it was, but, of course, Air Force isn't like I mean, I don't know Air Force's leotard budget, but I assume Air Force's leotard budget probably isn't as high as, like, LSU's leotard budget.
no.
But I do feel like they got a
I also think it's
whoever's
hard.
designing for them is crushing it.
I know. I think it's also hard, though, for, like, them and some of the other schools that you're the one that has the dad who was in the service, so what would I call
Mhm.
these schools? They're military?
Military schools.
Military schools. Um, it's like it's so hard to make a Leo that's not just straight up patriotic. Not that there's anything
Yeah.
wrong with that, but, like, that's, like,
But you don't
unique
want it
and
all to be
cool.
patriotic.
Yeah, and I thought that they did a really, really nice job with this Leo.
Promo before we go to the
Yes, please share, please
next
promote.
thing, we did start an Instagram subscription. We are messing around with that. Um, this is like it's more of like a support gymnastics now type thing. We, have had a subscription on the site through the years, and most recently the latest subscription of for the site is like really so like you can subscribe. It's called the GN supporter subscription. Right on the now on the website, it's like a GN supporter subscription, and basically you get an ad-free experience and a couple other benefits, of course, for subscribing, and that helps support us and get us to meets and to be able to pay photographers and videographers and like get all this coverage. But that being said, we've discussed like doing an Instagram subscription because we've had that option available to us, but we just launched it and we're going to have, a few things, a couple feature items basically every week. And it's pretty cheap. It's only 99 cents.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah, it's only 99 cents, and basically
Love.
you get, we have already on there, we've got some cute, phone backgrounds, stickers for you can add to your
Love.
sticker thing on your phone, and, but then we also have I did a breakdown of rankings last week, I'm gonna post another breakdown of
Cool.
rankings this week, and then, some other, like, more in-depth story things that are not just, like, headlines, but kind of diving deeper.
Yeah.
Not just the what, but like the why.
Yeah.
So just another value add for our followers and supporters. So if you are interested, go to follow us on Instagram, or if you already follow us on Instagram, you can subscribe and support us in that way.
Love. Subscribe, like, hit us up.
So we can keep doing this podcast. So
Yeah,
we can keep
please.
Carissa hired in some
Please.
capacity.
Always and forever. I'll always be here, don't
um,
you worry. You can't get
so
rid of
yeah,
me now.
but Okay, so let's get to our top 10 gymnastics headlines of the week. This is where we catch you up on the gym stories of the week and give you the gist of what you need to know in the GN top 10. So, number 1, this is our NCAA rundown for the past 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks of college gymnastics have been full of entertainment, upsets, perfect 10s, and drama on the women's side. Week 3 was upset week, which was week before last. Notably, Georgia beat LSU and Minnesota beat Michigan. Jordan Childs has scored 2 10s in the past 2 weeks, her first ever on vault for her double twisting Yurchenko, and 1 on floor, which was also the first of the 2026 season in the whole country. On floor, Avery Neff scored the first on vault. And then Kaylin Chio scored the first beam 10 of the year against Kentucky this past weekend. So we're just missing a 10 on bars, and then we will have one on each event this season. Now, of course, with Jordan having her vault 10 and her floor 10, she already has a bars 10 for previous years. She is just missing a beam 10 to get the career gym slam. I have a feeling that she'll probably get it in the next few weeks. I think that she'll even have a season gym slam by the end of the year.
That would be so cool.
We'll see. But Frankie Price of Arkansas also returned to competition less than a year after an Achilles injury, and she looks better than ever on floor. Her debut routine went 9.875 last weekend, and she followed it up with a 9.925 against SEMO this past weekend. And then the first 198s of the season have been given out. They went to Oklahoma and LSU respectively, which we will discuss in the next segment. But if you want a full rundown of the week 4 highlights, check out our site, gymnastics-now.com, for our recap.
Yes, lots to unpack there. All right, headline number 2, men's competition really picked up this past weekend with Asher Hong competing in his first meet since an ankle injury took him out of Worlds last minute in October. He won the all-around in his return with an 80.30, as Stanford earned the highest score in the country this season with a 326.450.
Yep, 326.45.
So I said it right the first time, is what you're saying.
Yep.
I love myself. All right. Hong's Olympic teammate, Fred Richard, also returned to competition for Michigan, competing 4 events. But the best piece of gymnastics we saw on the men's side this weekend had to come from the Wolverines' Charlie Larson, who scored a nearly perfect 14.3 for his double twisting Yurchenko on vault. He had a 9.8 He had a 9.8 E-score. Streets say it should have been perfect. The streets are maybe potentially in the room with us, but who knows?
Yeah, then the street.
The streets might be.
I will say, if you go to, we shared the vault on our social channels, and everybody was talking about it. But Heath Thorpe of Australia, who's actually been visiting the U.S., doing a little training camp with the Evo guys and stuff, he was like, that should have been perfect. So streets are not just me, but also me. So I'm not one, and I'm not one. I am a very nitpicky person. Like, if I was a judge, I would be the judge that probably like rarely gave out a 10. I only would give it to somebody who like actually deserved it. And I do think in this case, especially in men's gymnastics, Charlie just really, it was amazing. Amazing. So, okay, let's go to number 3. American Cup is a little over a month away. Woo! The mixed gender team event has added Spain, China, and Mexico to the lineup. Initial nominative rosters are expected this Friday. Team USA will be announced at the conclusion of Winter Cup, which is February 21st to 22nd. And American Cup is March 7th in Vegas. Woo!
It's crazy because that felt so far away, and now it's so close.
It's here. It's going to come and go. Amy just did all the credential stuff, so.
Sheesh. Headline number 4, Shane Wiskus is back. The Tokyo Olympian returned to competition over the weekend at the EVO Elite Collegiate Open, scoring an impressive 80.55 in the all-around. Per USA Gymnastics, he is registered to compete at Winter Cup next month. In addition to Whiskas, Air Force world bronze medalist Patrick Hoops was a guest team member of EVO at the meet. He scored a 14... What?
It's Evo. I just noticed that you were saying EVO. You know what? Just keep going, Carissa. I like it. I like EVO. Just keep going.
I'm literally just so tired. Anyways. EVO is extra virgin olive oil.
Yes, that's what it stands for.
God help me. Anyways, he scored a 14.150 on horse after a fall. Still rings champion Donnell Wittenberg earned a 14.4 for his set. He did not do his namesake skill, the triple pike, instead opting for a laid-out double-double.
Winter Cup qualifying has concluded on the men's side. There is a long list of pre-qualified athletes that I'm not going to read. No. But those qualifying the past few weeks were Yul Moldauer, Drake Andrews, Garrett Schooley, David Shama, Landon Simpson, and Brian Solomon. Those athletes have been confirmed by USAG. I'm sure by the time this episode is posted, they will have confirmed the other ones, but unofficially, the other qualifiers are expected to be David Ramirez, Cooper Kim, Jesse Pikelli, Zach Green, and Max Auden. And that's not including potential event petitions and stuff. So Winter Cup field will soon be finalized for the men. And of course, the women's field should be getting announced pretty soon. So yeah.
Stay tuned for that. All right. Headline number 6, retirements. We've got a lot of them. Please insert a crying emoji, and I will. In the past couple weeks, Great Britain's James Hall retired. Bulgaria/USA/Stanford standout Eddie oh my gosh.
Carissa just found this out. She's been working.
Oh my gosh. He was one of my first interviews for Gymnastics Now. Eddie Panev.
Oh yeah, you did do that interview. Yeah, Eddie retired. Eddie Panev.
Eddie Panev hung it up. And just this week, Canada and Central Michigan's Donnell. Oh, I love when I'm right. Donnell Pedrick?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Sorry that I'm saying yes while you're retiring. It's sad, but I got your name right. Donnell Pedrick said goodbye to the sport. We congratulate all of them on their incredible careers, and we'll miss you guys.
Really sad.
Eddie, I hope that you really valued my reaction there because that was live, raw, and uncut.
That was Eddie. She just found out.
I've been so far deep into my first week of work. That was real-time reporting.
I do really think, I know that Chris and I have both actually interviewed Eddie. Carissa did for a written story, I think when he transitioned to representing Bulgaria.
Yes.
And then I went back in the day in the COVID era. Eddie was a guest on our Gymnasts Are People 2 not Gymnasts Are People 2. Our Gymnasts on Zoom Drinking Coffee podcast, GZDC. And so he was a lovely guest. I love talking to him. And yeah, I've just we've both enjoyed watching his career, and he's just been so incredible to watch, talk to. His story's great. So I hope the next chapter is even better. He's going to spend a lot of time climbing mountains, I'm sure. The guy's insane.
That's so true.
Maybe he'll be the next Alex Hanold. I don't know.
Maybe. You never know.
The 2026 College Gymnastics Association Hall of Fame class has been announced. This is the third class of inductees, and it includes Bud. Is it Bud Bayer? I'm going to go with Bud Bayer. I'm going to trust my writing. Bud Bayer, Jake Dalton, A.B. Grossfeld, Coach Yoshi Hayasaki, Coach Bill Mead, Yul Moldauer, Coach Charles Pond, Carlton Rintz, Makoto Sakamoto, Justin Spring, sorry, Justin, Clay Strother, and Illinois' 1940 team. So, congrats.
Wow. Congratulations, everybody. Headline number 8, gymnastics adjacent? But since USAG governs one of them, we figured we'd mention stunt and acrobatics and tumbling are two of the newest NCAA sports getting national championships. This is a huge step for both sports, and as former gymnasts and competitive cheerleaders ourselves, we are living for this moment. Yes, I am, because I have multiple bones to pick with NCAA for who gets nationals and who doesn't. So this makes me happy.
This is great. It's awesome. I'm really excited to see them get NCAA championships. So cool. Next up, get some shape or fashion of stunt, acro, tumbling, whatever in the Olympics. So,
amen.
That's probably the only way it's going to end up. Instead of cheerleading, it's going to be like one
Which
of those,
is
probably.
Literally insane. Not insane, because they all deserve to be there. However,
Yes.
cheerleading has been on the cusp of being in the Olympics for what feels like 1,800 years.
Yeah, it's just the funny thing is that like stunt and acro and tumbling, as far as I understand, I have to go back, but I'm pretty sure it's the case. Both of them kind of like, especially stunt, I know for sure, spun off from like, I think acro and tumbling is more like, that's why USAG like does like basically like govern it somehow, but it's like more like cheer and tumbling spinoff. I think they get both athletes, but like stunt is definitely a spinoff of cheer, and basically like these are both in some shape or fashion an attempt to get basically cheer-esque stuff eventually like more formalized competition-wise and stuff, and eventually international to like try to get into the Olympics, because they've tried for years as it is, like as cheer exists today with worlds and all of that and blah blah blah, and like it is not, that people just aren't going for it, and or like the powers that be aren't going for it, and it's stupid. It's pretty international. I think it does a great job. The ICU cheerleading championships are great. There's plenty of countries participating, and I think whenever it does make it, it will be a absolute smash hit.
It's gonna be a sellout.
But until then,
I just feel like, have we learned nothing from how well the Netflix show did?
I know. Although I will say, I love cheer, but I will say, you can go, I was going to potentially put it in the show, but if you go to our Instagram page, I did share a post about
the standing full post.
standing full post where like,
I'm also like confused. Was he doing a standing full, or was he trying to do a weird version of a standing full, like a standing pike?
Like, I'm almost 100% sure he was doing a standing full. Okay. There were actually people in the comments,
because cheerleaders do like to get really creative and pretend like that's
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But I do think on TikTok, where it was like also a big debate, and it always seems to be like somebody's standing full seems to be a debate about this time of year. I think somebody was saying that basically like he wasn't actually like and this is all like, I'm trying to remember from the depths of my brain, but I'm pretty sure he was like actually not on the main roster. He was like an alternate, and then he like made the team at some point and basically like worked really hard to basically get a standing full to replace a previous standing full. This is important to have the standing full. It's
very important
to their score. And so all that to be said, you know, kudos to him, claps. He did not fall on his face. He did land something. Listen. I just don't necessarily consider it a standing full.
I think I just don't think he rotated in the way that he thought he did.
He like didn't rotate. He didn't actually like twist.
He like went around.
He did something. I mean, like, honestly, I think it might take more talent to do what he did.
He did 100. I'm like, how did you do that?
I don't even know. But you know what? I was never able to do a standing full. I got to a standing tuck, and that was it. So, kudos and all the things.
True.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 9. The U.S. Men's Senior Selection Committee meeting minutes for early January revealed that the SSC is looking at an avenue where the whole U.S. men's world team is once again decided by automatic selection. The meeting to finalize the selection procedures took place last week, so we should find out the official procedures here soon. but this is similar to how the Olympic team was selected for the U.S. men. The priority for this World, of course, is the team finishing top 3 to earn a team quota spot for the LA Olympics, with individual medals being a secondary priority. So.
All right, headline number 10. We have to shout out Mr. West Fowler, one of Team USA's best TNT athletes, is a multidiscipline athlete, and we had no idea. If you don't know West, he is a 3-time world medalist, having won team double mini gold, team tumbling silver, and individual double mini bronze at the 2025 Trampoline World Championships. But we just found out over the weekend that West also competes artistic. He competed at the NOLA Invitational, winning silver in the all-around with a 73.8, plus vault gold, floor silver, and pommel horse bronze. We can barely get out of bed, especially on a snow day. West, you're crushing it. That's insane.
That's crazy.
Literally crazy.
I mean, literally doing double mini tramp. Of course, like, we've kind of discussed it, but like, no, double mini and tumbling. But like, Ruben Padilla, who's like one of the best TNT athletes of all time, does tramp, double mini, and tumbling, and basically like there should be like an all around essentially in that field.
Yeah.
Excuse me, at some point where like athletes do all 3. But that being said, so impressive to basically I mean, it's essentially like a different sport, right? Like it is
essentially.
TNT are like together, double mini and tumbling, which he does. Like they're different, but in the same kind of like discipline. And then artistic is different. Like it's separate.
So different.
So to do basically a whole different sport is crazy. And he looks great. His highlights were awesome. So I mean,
Insane.
I just didn't know, and I'm just like,
where have we been? Period, King. Ate us right up.
Absolutely. Okay, so now that we've given the rundown of the gym news, we want to go into a specific story that we think needs a little more attention, and we have some explaining to do. Honestly, I think the judges have some explaining to do this week.
Yeah.
Because
we want answers.
We're talking over scoring. Mainly,
what are you guys doing?
I've just really saved like a million tweets.
Love.
And I'm going to use them to guide this conversation briefly. Like, so if you don't know, Oklahoma scored the first 198 of the season. And on one hand, we must disclose that we are a news outlet and we deliver the news in an unbiased fashion. And that's first and foremost, we must be objective and unbiased in that regard. So a score is a score. This score was certified, signed, submitted.
It's a score.
It's part of NQS. It is a score. So they did score the first 198 of the season. It was hold on, I did not have it pulled up.
You're good. I'm gonna
buffering.
Tuck my leg.
Oh they scored a 198.425. That was Friday afternoon. Friday evening, LSU scored a 198.050. We posted a poll. This is how I'll start the conversation. We posted a poll and compared to asking people to compare which 198 was more legit, Oklahoma or LSU's. They're the only ones that have gone 198. I'm pretty sure like 800 people responded, and it was overwhelmingly LSU, who of course scored the lower 198, like just on the cusp. Overscoring discussion can be happened for both. But the reason that Oklahoma is getting picked on, and this is not, it shouldn't have to be disclosed, but this is not a criticism of the athletes. This is a criticism of the judging and the system in general and how judging needs to reform. But there were quite a few discrepancies that led to this issue. But the biggest one was Lily Peterson.
Yes.
Who is everybody loves Lily Peterson.
Yeah.
She's great. This is not a discussion of her. This is a discussion of the scoring, and I know that I'm harping that, but I want to make very clear that we are not hating on the athletes. These are all exceptional athletes. And the way to respect the athletes is to make sure that their sport is that they are scored with integrity. They are treated with integrity, that the sport is treated with integrity, so it people don't get upset at it and stop viewing it, and
it gets the
bombs and
recognition
it
it
dies.
deserves. Yeah.
Exactly. So you want to be scored properly. Well, anyways, Lily Peterson scored a 9.825 on bars. She fell out of a turn. She was going into a handstand, fell out of it, had to basically rekip, and she hit her feet on the ground on the low bar. And that's automatically, I believe, a 3/10 deduction. Hold on. I have it in my notes. Sorry, I'm just like, I want to make sure that I'm
yes.
correct.
Of course. Is that Henry?
No, that's my cat. Henry's asleep.
Shut up. That's your cat?
Yeah.
Why are they meowing that loud?
Oh, she's just having fun. So 3/10 is a basic deduction for the foot hit. And then why are my notes so slow? And then additional deductions for not finishing the pirouette on top of the bar, knee bend, and that's just like this one section where Lily made the mistake, not any other deductions throughout the whole routine. So you're talking at least half a point in deductions before you even get to the rest of it, just for this section. She got a 9.825.
Yeah.
It should have been below a 9.5, probably like a 9.3. If I was like looking at it, I would say based off other things in the routine plus this, I would say in the 9.3 range.
Yeah.
She got a 9.825. And a lot of these OU fans, I'm going to pick on OU fans for a second here, that are admittedly must be just NCAA OU fans, and that's it, and maybe not that well versed in gymnastics. I don't know. But they're just like, well, it didn't count.
What?
Well, it did count.
She
A lot of people were basically saying that it didn't count. It did count. Like, we had people in our comments, basically, like, multiple people being like, the score didn't count. The score didn't count. The score did count. Ella Murphy's 9.8 was dropped. But it wouldn't matter anyways. If you go to a tie, you include all 6 scores, so it would count there. And all that to be said, like, this is all contributing to the team score, and then a win over Georgia, and then the NQS. Like,
yeah.
It all trickles down, and, like, it's a slippery slope. And so that score is the one that everybody was talking about this weekend. And so now, based off of that score, and there were other scores, again, in that meet that were a lot of OU routines that should not have been scored as high as they were. There were some gifts given to Georgia as well, but basically the consensus is that OU should have been probably right at the cusp of a high 197 if we were being whatever. And then Georgia, which scored right under a 197, probably should have been a little over the 197 mark. So low 197 for Georgia, high 197 for Oklahoma probably was more reasonable. Instead, we got almost a 198.5 for Oklahoma and under a 197 for Georgia. And again, NQS is more important than ever this season.
Literally.
Basically, everything counts.
Everything.
So it's not like these can just like be dropped and it's just like whatever. It's not a laughing matter. It is a sport. So in that regard, it's not life or death. But
it also like is very. Obviously, I've never coached NCAA gymnastics, but coming from a coaching like background, it is very hard to improve a team and improve routines if scores are not accurate. And especially for young athletes, it creates almost a false sense of hope sometimes. And I'm not saying that that's what's happening here, but it very much does not allow for there to be a discussion of like what needs to get better and change.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically, look, if everything's just getting overscored and everything's scoring, everything's going 9.9 and everyone is going 198. Everything is not going 9.9 in reality. Like, not every routine. I mean, the other thing is that OU's floor lineup, which we highlighted again, it's objectively they scored this. It was signed off on, blah, blah, blah. We did highlight it because that was the scores. And of course, it does also invite debate about the scores. But I believe, let's see, OU's floor lineup, no one went below a 9925. But the thing is that 5 of the 6 athletes went 9925. Not all of those routines were 9925s.
Yeah.
The judging situation is out of hand. There needs to be reform. There needs to be a differentiation. Like, they can't all be lumped together.
No.
That's just a cop-out. Like,
100%.
This isn't...
it makes it boring to the viewers who actually do enjoy, like, the sport. I actually saw a really interesting... Sorry, this is like side tangent, but I saw a really interesting... Actually, you posted this, didn't you?
I don't know.
I think you did. Why do I think it was on TikTok? But it was definitely on Instagram. And I think it was from you. You posted about the difficulty in NCAA gymnastics. Wasn't that you this week?
Yes. So we did share, I believe it was Georgia Debrett's, No Grip Debrett's, and from Utah, and Elizabeth Price, E.B. Price from Stanford back like a decade ago. And they were doing like single bar releases and so much difficulty. And basically the discussion around it was originally posted on Twitter. And basically the discussion around it was, do you miss, I miss this level of difficulty in NCAA gymnastics? And then so I posed that question on Instagram and Facebook. I mean, the resounding answer was yes. And of course, that difficulty also differentiated routines as well.
That's the biggest thing. I feel like we have not only the problem of scores are starting to just be the same. Like, generally, just like team scores are not varying from individual to individual. Like you said, it's almost like a group score in a sense, which makes it boring. And then and frustrating. And then I feel like every routine does start to look the same.
They do look the same.
Especially on bars. Bars, oh my God. It's like repeat, which is like, it doesn't make it any less difficult for the athletes to do. However, for a viewer, it gets very repetitive.
Well, and people are like,
the scores are all the same. What?
Oh, I mean, it can be very, if you look on any given Saturday when I'm watching football, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, if Georgia, I'm a Georgia grad, if you don't know, but if Georgia goes and faces a cupcake team, there's like a 99% chance we're going to beat them. But by how many touchdowns, all this stuff, like blah, 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 I don't know. But on any given Saturday, even if it is we're facing a cupcake team, you don't know what's going to happen. But if legitimately, when I'm looking at a weekend slate of gymnastics meets at this point, I'm just like, oh, UCLA, Michigan State. UCLA is probably going to win. I'm going to need to watch because I'm going to watch anyways, but I'm going to need to carve out that time to watch because chances are Jordan's getting a 10. Yeah. Now, of course, to be very clear, Jordan deserved, I think, her 10 on floor and had a great performance. And that's not to say she doesn't deserve that. But I'm basically okay, this is what's going to happen.
It's kind of predictable.
It's predictable. And so that's boring. And that does drive away viewers. Somebody can tune into her gymnastics meet and they might be like, oh, I love this. And then they come back the next Friday and they're like, oh, this is the same.
100%.
Or the same thing's going to happen. The same thing's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And so it just gets boring and nobody wants to watch it. Part of the reason that sports like football are so popular and exciting is because, on any given Saturday, a Kennesaw State could come in and upset a Georgia. They could absolutely do it. There's no uniform bias or underscoring because they're not from a Division I program or an SEC program or anything. It's just they're playing on the field. And it is a judged sport, so there is that difference. But if there has
to be a way.
If there is proper investment made into the judging and also into basically into standardizing the judging and making sure there was a quality control of the judging on a regular basis, which there clearly is not, then we would be way better off. And like I do think in the postseason, they do have, obviously you get postseason assignments. Postseason judging is typically stricter, especially once you get to semifinals and nationals. But that's the postseason might be maybe some of the most watched meets. They're the highest viewed meets, but the fans watch all season. So it does matter. It's not like, oh, it doesn't matter until it matters.
It does matter.
The regular season matters. This matters. Like, and so that's why the scoreboard, which Carissa talked to Owen Field about, was such a great idea and so many people were behind it. But the problem is that so many coaches have refused to participate in it and submit like routines and basically get critiqued and like,
but like
give information to the scoreboard to work on.
We kind of have this saying in journalism where somebody declining comment or not giving you a quote is a quote in itself.
Mm-hmm.
You deciding not to participate and send in a routine is saying something itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like self-destructive to the sport.
It is self-destructive to the sport. And my opinion
what are you so scared of?
My opinion is that if you aren't willing to submit your routine for like the scoreboard thing to continue for quality assurance in the sport, quality control in the sport, for the better good of the sport in the long term, then like you are the problem.
100%.
You should be submitting it. I mean, honestly, it shouldn't be an option. Like they should be required to submit it.
But of course,
no. But of course, that being said, this is a like, what's the word? Let's call it a beta program. Like it's not a formalized thing and stuff, but it was such a big deal last year. And there was such a tightness on scoring because basically judges felt as though they had to be like basically do their job properly, it seemed. Yeah. And then like I don't know what happened, but basically it just exploded. And all that to be said. There's an issue. There needs to be reform. I mean, so if you don't know Casey Magnesium, he's a very popular Twitter user. He said, it is easy to hate on the judges, but you have to remember that there is also almost no investment in better judging. They make very little money, which they do. And gymnastics as a whole has done a poor job of building a strong pipeline of new judges. So that's the other side of the discussion. This is not also just hating on judges. It's like the whole system.
The whole system
is messed up. But it's messed up and it's detrimental to the sport as a whole. And I honestly think that this is capping out the sport's growth, specifically on the NCAA level.
NCAA gymnastics feels like we're reaching a cap, and it feels like we're very stagnant. And it's like,
it does.
What is going to give?
I mean, yes, like you could say there's some increase in viewership, blah, 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 blah. But like we're talking slight increases and marginal increases in viewership. Like they're going viral on social media. Okay, a lot of things go viral on social media, but we're talking about week in, week out, how many people are watching.
About longevity.
How many people are engaging with the sport. And we're talking about long-term growth that turns it like into a bigger sport. It's a niche sport right now. It's still a niche sport. It's not football. It's not basketball. Maybe it'll never be that way, but
it can be. And I think
people say that if the scoring, like a lot of people, the synopsis is that a lot of people think that if the scoring wasn't such a joke, maybe we wouldn't be setting ourselves up maybe we wouldn't be setting ourselves up to be capped out.
Also, like, I don't know. I think it's frustrating because I can see already some of the blowback of like the people that are going to get defensive about this and be like, we're beating the sport down, blah, blah, blah. No, we're the people that want to see the sport grow. And sometimes you have to be uncomfortable looking at things.
You have to have the uncomfortable conversations for growth.
Yeah. And so I feel like and I just think it's insane. Why wouldn't you want to have these conversations? Like, this sport's been around for so long. Of course we need to update it. Of course we need to keep pushing. Of course we need to do all of these things. But you can't do any of that if you all just stand there and cross your arms and say, nope, It is what it
I mean,
is.
they even now, I don't agree in poor treatment of even judges. Like, yes, if
No.
you were judged, if even the judge that did Lily's score, whatever, like that person should not get hate or be,
No.
basically like people just say disgusting things to her or him. I don't know. I believe it was her. I don't know. They don't, whatever, disclose it. There's a lot. It's usually a woman in women's gymnastics. That's the only reason I'm saying that. But um, they shouldn't get like, you know, hate speech and,
Death threats.
anything, death threats or anything like that. They, it should just be a matter of like, hey, and I do believe that I heard that Ryan, the Georgia co-head coach, Ryan Roberts, looked at the judge and it was basically like the judge is like, it was like WTF. And the judge was like, the rumor is, I don't know if it was on the broadcast or somebody saw in the audience, but the judge was like, I'm sorry, I didn't see her feet. And I'm just like, well, how did you not see her feet hit the ground? But at the same time, this is a matter of like, okay, well,
But like, why
we
don't
need
we have
to,
a process for her? Why don't we have an instant replay?
well, so there's two sides of this. One, the judge should like that should be a situation where the scoreboard or whoever basically is calling up and this is like the NFL or like the ACC like headquarter replay whatever where they're just like even they're having a conversation with the ref or in this case the judge the week after and is like, hey, this is the rule. You need a refresher on this. We're sending out a refresher to everybody. And also, like, you can't make this mistake again. This is detrimental. But then also, that does come back to what we discussed with like flags and stuff and instant replay. This sport would be way more exciting if
And way
Ryan was
more
also
accurate.
and way more accurate and like held to its standard if Ryan and like Cecile were able to go like, oh, flag, nope, like she hit her feet.
Yes.
That score needs to be rescored. And you just have one per meet. It's just like in the NFL. Basically, you get a challenge, you throw
Mm-hmm.
the flag, they
Mm-hmm.
review the score. Okay. If it comes back and they're like, we agree with you, we made a mistake. Okay, well, you get your flag back and you can throw it again if you need to. Or otherwise, you don't get it back and you don't get it
No.
again. But in this
Exactly.
case, like, of course, that would have happened. So, like, that could make the sport more exciting. And I do think that would add, like, a
Value.
thrill. That would add
Value.
value,
It would
thrill, and
add
it also
value.
hold people accountable. And it would make the judges also be held accountable by proxy because they're the ones.
I just like, where are the checks and balances in judging?
Yeah, there needs to be some checks and balances, of
My
course.
head hurts thinking about
Somebody
it.
let's see. Somebody was like, my location, Norman, is like the weather thing, but it was like saying it's like 198.425 degrees, but it feels like 197.842.
Literally.
Let's see. NCAA gymnastics will die if this continues. The most unfair sport going around. Agree. 100% agree. Let's see. Somebody was like, gymnastic judges names need to be made public like referees are in other sports. And this is where I was getting at there. They can't hide behind these bad scores anymore. There needs to be accountability and transparency. And I agree because from the fact of they literally announce the refs like when a football game starts.
Yeah.
And the people do get mad at the refs, but you also should go into judging or reffing or whatever with the understanding that people aren't going to be happy with you.
Yeah.
And you need to have thick skin. Now, of course, again, they should not be getting hate speech, death threats, etc.
No.
But to also hide now, they used to be public.
Yeah.
Going back to that tweet, the judges' names used to be like public on the sheet. I believe the men's are still public. Like you can see the score sheets, they upload them. You can see the signatures. You can't tell necessarily who all the time who the judges are, but they're there. But then now on the women's side, the names got removed from the score sheets. So it's just, again, no accountability. And
No.
where there's no accountability, things are going to go crazy. And then,
Well, also,
like,
no offense, but how is it fair for the gymnasts to literally be in a sport where they get judged and they could get ripped apart on the internet and they have to deal with all the backlash, but the judges don't?
well, exactly. Think about Lily.
Like,
Hopefully,
how is that fair? These are also
I
respectfully grown adults. I don't think that this is good for anybody's mental health, but these are grown
no.
adults. And instead of us protecting the athlete,
we're protecting the
protect the
judges
judges.
who
How
are
does that
getting
make sense?
paid and supposed to be doing a job that they're not doing. And again, it's not
The math
at one
isn't
judge or whatever.
mathing.
It's not at one judge in particular. It's just at the system.
It just doesn't make
an accountability
any sense.
thing. But like you said, like what, like Lily's on YouTube, somebody posted that routine, and it's literally like Lily as the thumbnail because it was Lily's routine, and it says the most overscored gymnastics routine of all time. And I don't know how many views it's got. I'm pretty sure it's got quite a few. And it's not her fault, and nobody is basically saying it's her fault, but she's the one at the center of it. It's like
100%.
I think a few years ago, some gymnast did a Yurchenko full, had a hop, and got a 995, which is a perfect score for a Yurchenko full. And everybody was like, "Are you kidding?" And it was a similar discussion. It was like a couple years ago. And again, basically like, and I do think at the time, I think that gymnast, I forget who it is, but I think that gymnast was literally like, basically like, guys, like if it was like, I know I did not deserve a 995, like blah, blah, blah. But like, again, you're putting the
pressure on that, the blame.
Weight and the pressure of that on them when it should not be on them.
Like, why do they have to respond to that? They didn't judge themselves.
So it's just it's all around. There's so many things, but it's all around not good for the sport. And
no, it's not.
Yeah. So I definitely thought we'd be having this conversation maybe about Florida getting the first 198 and this being a situation for them, not necessarily Oklahoma, but
So no 10s on bars yet, but they got
no 10s on bars.
But they got a 198 already?
Oh yeah. I think Addison Feda went 9925, and Hannah Scheibel and Mackenzie Estep all went 9925 on bars for OU. So that contributed to their 198 score. I mean, let's see. Let's see how many OU scores went under 99. It's talking about scoring disparity. Or scoring, what am I trying to say? I guess disparity.
Yeah.
Or scoring parity. I don't know. I'm half asleep, guys. It's almost 10 o'clock. We're gonna wrap this up here in a minute, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So scared for this.
5, 6. So OU had is this 6 times 4 is 24. Yes. Of 24 routines, 6 went under 99. All were like 98. And of the counting routines, or those that weren't counted, or that were counted, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 of them were under 99 of the counting routines. So, but if you watched the OU Georgia meet, you would know that although it was a great meet for OU, it was not a meet where only 3 routines or 6 routines should have been scored under a 99.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of the overscoring in the sport? What do you think
let us know.
The impact will be? What do you think the solution is?
Yeah, can we get some resolutions up in here, because
Let's end it on a high note. So let's transition to our last segment of the episode, where we get to dive into more of pop culture, real life headlines in the gym world, and gymnasts are people too. Take it away, Carissa.
All right. Our story today is about British artistic gymnast Alice Kinsella. It is Alice, right? Okay, perfect.
Not Alice, like in Italy.
See, that's the thing. I gotta be double checking. right? All right, so here's the gist. The BBC Sport reports that British artistic gymnast Alice Kinsella is aiming to make history by returning to elite competition after becoming a mother. She's a mother. Something that
Mommy
has...
Mamacita.
Mamacita? Sorry.
Mommy?
Literally, we're losing our minds. Anyways, something that has never been done before in British gymnastics. The interview with Kinsella highlights some of the challenges with returning to gymnastics postpartum. We're going to talk a little bit to Patricia about that because there are some things. There's just a lot of things. But first, we do want to point out that there has been other gymnasts who have returned to gymnastics postpartum. Quite a few. Oksana Chusovitina. From Uzbekistan.
That's correct.
I know.
Yes.
I just panic when I see it's. I just panic. Anyways, she's the gold star standard of postpartum comeback stories. She gave birth to
I really liked that description. Gold standard of postpartum comeback stories. Yeah.
Thank you. Gave birth to her son, Alisher, right, in 1999, returned to elite gymnastics less than a year later. That's
and still
insane.
doing it.
She's still doing it. She's not retired yet. As we know, she's competed in 8 Olympic Games. Won a million things over. And then we have Aliyah Mustafina. Yes. Russia. She really is one of the most iconic gym memes ever. You know?
Yes, the Ice Queen.
Yes.
Ice Queen.
Sorry, it's just so iconic. Anyways, she gave birth to her daughter, Alisa, in 2017, returned to competition in 2018. She was on the World Championship team first, winning silver in 2018. Yeah, so she also came back. So there have been several. There are a couple more.
There's quite a few more. There's some that are active right now.
Yeah.
There's of course been discussion about like not speculating or whatever, but people are like, Simone's married, like if Simone had a baby and then came back, like what would that look like? I think that'd be so badass. Like
I literally I want her to do her thing, do what she wants to do, truly, but it'd be crazy.
But it is crazy. Like after, of course, I have a 7-month-old. Like I just went through this. Alice Kinsella had her baby shortly after I did. And so it's just very fresh in my mind. But like the whole pregnancy experience and then the whole birthing experience. I mean, it's
I mean, there's a watermelon leaving your body.
You really can't describe it. It's I mean, it's incredible. It's euphoric.
But have you guys ever seen
wonderful experience?
Your organs move.
They do.
Your muscles,
your
and everything.
Organs literally
they just
reorganize around the baby. Which is part of the reason that pregnant women basically can't breathe, because your lungs essentially get pushed up and they're just like
right. And then Alice was
and then your bladder gets pushed down.
It's a lot. It's what we're saying.
That's why pregnant women are so. Look, I saw somebody debating on Twitter today and was just like, this pregnant woman like got on the bus and like the bus was full and like she asked like this man to get up so like she could sit down, and he was just like, you want all this equality where like you should have to stand, and I'm just like,
literally,
what? It's not about equality. It's literally about all these men out here are literally like,
they do whatever.
Birth rates are declining and like all this and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, okay, well then treat women with respect. Respect that women are the ones that carry the babies, birth the babies, and if you want them to continue to do that, respect, like give them a seat on the
men
bus.
Get a cold and act like they got the bubonic plague.
Oh yeah,
we literally rearrange our organs. Their abs split. Alice was talking about that in the interview. She said, yeah. They were like, how was it coming back with your abs? Because it's a known thing that when you give birth, your abs split to make room for the baby, right? I'm saying that correct.
Like, so yes. there's separation typically. In 80% of women, you're going to have some kind of separation. So it can basically detach like this way, and then you can also split to basically down the middle of your abdominal wall, and it's like it's actually like a thing once it gets to basically be, I think, about an inch of a split. Like, you can actually feel it, if it does essentially detach. And it needs, but essentially 80% of women, typically they say, to deal with that. And it takes about 6 months to a year for your abs to recover and basically go back. And of
And
course, you
some
need to be.
women's don't, and they have to have surgery for it.
And some do not. But that's one of the biggest things. I would say the abs and then your pelvic floor, which is not
Dude.
commonly talked about until basically you get pregnant and you basically don't know your pelvic floor exists. I know my
Literally.
pelvic floor exists now. But it's crazy. Like, that's what basically, like, that's a huge thing. The abs are a huge thing. What I'm sure both are the things that Alice is dealing with.
Yeah, and, like, to know gymnastics is to know that it is so much abdominal work. So many little muscles that you just don't ever realize the human body has or will use. And dare I say pregnancy would impact those little muscles. Anyway, she was talking about it in the interview, and she was, like, so chill about it. I was cracking up. She was literally like, "I mean, yeah, my abs were a little bit weaker, so that was definitely a challenge." I was like, "A little bit? Your abs split, girlfriend. You had a baby inside of you. Like, you are a modern mystery. You're an icon. You're literally, to me, you're a walking legend." Like,
That's pretty crazy. She looks great too. Like, her training
insane.
videos look great.
And
She
you
looks
should really
great.
go watch the whole interview if you haven't seen it. It's really, really good, and I really liked seeing her
Maybe
actual
Carissa will link
responses.
it.
Yeah, I'll link it. Oh my god, of course. Give our friends at the BBC some clicks.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I have you're not supposed to work out like 6 weeks till 6 weeks postpartum at least to get cleared by that. But I've been back to Pelotoning and all of the things, but like, it's definitely just like a work in progress. Like, I feel like my body's mostly back to normal 7 months postpartum, but at the same time, like, there's times where I'm just like, and I'm not an elite gymnast, but where,
I
like,
thought
I honestly
you're
feel
not on Team
again,
USA? What are you
like,
talking
my,
about?
like, pelvic floor is, like, falling out of me and stuff. Like, it's just, like, it's crazy. Like, that's just how it is. Like, it's just a feeling. It's like a sensation. I don't really know how to describe it, but, like,
It sounds scary. That's what it
it's
sounds
it's
like.
not it's not scary, I would say, but it is, like, it's just things that you never thought about that your mind is opened to. I will
Yeah.
say, I stayed in shape my whole pregnancy, and I believe Kinsella did as well. Um, that makes a I cannot reiterate enough how much of a difference it makes. I played pickleball until the day my due date, and then I fell, and then I went to the hospital and was induced and had Henry the next day. I played pickleball. There are videos of me literally about to pop playing pickleball. And also, did some weightlifting, stayed active walking. All of that made a difference. I pushed him out in like 20 minutes. Um, they say the first time moms, it's typically like 3 hours. Like, so that's just an iteration of, I honestly think that is because I stayed in shape. And so if Alice stayed in shape, and of course she was already in far better shape than me, then you can probably also work your way back pretty easily if you kept up your fitness, kept up your health, and
You wanna know
yeah.
what I wanna know? And I don't think they touched on it in the interview, but I'll go back and look. There's a big, debate around, obviously, there's no right way to do birth, but a lot of people who have really rough postpartums eventually will try a natural birth because a lot of times their postpartum recovery is better, is what people have experienced.
Yeah,
So
I've heard that.
I wonder if she did natural or like
No,
an
you mean natural by no epidural
Mhm.
or anything?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've
I
heard
don't know.
recovery for that, like, it's very, very different physically as well as mentally, and I just wonder.
I don't know.
Hey, Alice, what was your birth plan? Just kidding.
I admittedly had, of course I was induced. I was hoping not to be induced, and I was hoping to try without an epidural and all the things, but I was induced. I had Pitocin, and then I had an epidural, and honestly, epidural was my best friend. Pitocin was hell.
I heard. I've heard.
hell on earth.
I've heard it's
is
bad.
The devil. But the epidural was amazing. And I think I might have already hyped her up, but Stephanie, I will always hype up my anesthesiologist, Stephanie. All the nurses were incredible. But that woman came in and saved my life with that epidural. I mean, I was pushing that button.
She was an angel.
It was getting into my system. I could feel it. It was amazing. I cannot tell you how painful, the worst pain of my life. I think I might have described this on Facebook. Yes. I don't know if I told you this, Carissa, but contraction, specifically with Pitocin, feels like you are quite literally being murdered alive, but they won't finish it. Like you're just being stabbed, and I mean like actually stabbed, and your organs turned, and like all these things, and your body will not give out. You will not die, but you have to endure it all. And it was insane.
Right.
And somehow you have pregnancy amnesia, and then you're like, I want to do it again. It's insane.
I don't even know how to react.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm so scared of childbirth. Anyways.
Don't be scared. I honestly do not think it is something to be scared of. It in general. Of course you want to go in.
Besides the devil, the Pitocin.
Of course you want to be prepared and
nothing to worry about.
But it was a wonderful experience, and it seems like Alice loves her baby.
She's crushing it.
She's crushing it. So shout out to all the moms that are doing gymnastics, or the moms that are listening, or the mom gymnastics fans. All the things. It's incredible. Honestly, craziest natural thing that we do on this planet.
No, like actually, like I can't even talk about it too much because it like truly just doesn't even like register in my brain how it's possible, and I'll think about it for a really long time. So no, we can't get there. We can't go.
People go and scale Taipei 1 or whatever and do all these extreme sports and stuff. But as far as things that like we are literally programmed to do naturally and stuff, I mean, childbirth, the fact that it happens every single day, and these women around carrying babies, like inside them, growing these children, having them, then raising them, of course, like say thank you to a pregnant mom. I don't know.
Literally.
And give up your bus seat. Don't be
that guy's a friggin' jerk.
That's insane. Like, you want to know why women don't want to have any more kids? You want to know why the birth rate's going down?
Because you act like that, and who would want to have a kid with that?
Mm-hmm.
That's so embarrassing for whoever that was. Want to know what? I am judging you. You're icky.
I just could not imagine. I feel like Alice, if like somebody told her that like Alice has got a great like side eye.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like she would just like absolutely obliterate them just with a look and be like, get the hell up.
Yeah. Absolutely love.
But I don't even know why I'm combining these two stories. So that's because it's late. So we are going to sign off now.
Yes.
So
we just missed you guys a lot, and I miss Patricia a lot, and we just needed a good hour of chitty chat at a late night hour. Thanks for bearing with us. Thanks for bearing with my poor pronunciation and number stating abilities tonight.
Okay. Make sure you're following our social platforms and following us on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever else you get your podcasts. And in a couple, we will have our next episode, of course, week after next. We've gone to every other week for now. We are hoping to have a guest, so stay tuned for who that may be. And we will see you soon.
Yep. Love you guys. Bye.